Benfica Podcast is one of the founding members of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is an independent platform made by fans for fans, and in it, you can find our podcast along with many other podcasts, along with articles of opinion, video segments, and much, much more. We're also on patreon.com/Benfica Independent with exclusive contents for our patrons.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo. Sí, es un club que tiene una grandeza que no se comprende si no estás aquí dentro.
São de uma magia única, benfiquista, que só nós sentimos assim. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levantam. E o valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estado e assustá-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dog Benfica Podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças, bringing you the latest and greatest in Benfica land. Episode 486 is what we're up to. With me tonight, Cristiano making a return. How you feeling, brother?
Triumphant return, baby.
Triumphant return.
I had to wait until we, started winning some games because it started giving me some health hazards.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
yeah, no.
I noticed a new wrinkle. So the latest and greatest. As you know it. Welcome to the Benfica Podcast, bringing the latest and greatest.
Latest and greatest.
És romântico com as palavras, mas esquece.
Dave's not with us tonight, and I'm sorry we'd have to deprive you of his fabulous stats. Mm-hmm. I won't have any stats for you tonight, but hope Dave comes back next week. He wasn't feeling that well.
Muita força, David.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling all that well, so hope that he will can join us next week in our what we'd like it to be our triumphant podcast number 487. But anyway, before that, we got 486. We will be looking back at the Portimonense game. We will also be looking forward to the derby at the Alvalade this coming Sunday, and also got Grimaldo, who's confirmed at Leverkusen. We'll discuss that for you, as you guys know that Cristiano will have a very unique perspective on that. Well, I don't know if it's unique, but you always got stuff to say, especially about Grimaldo. Before we got going, wanted to say hello to all the Freddies that are already on here. Flávio Ferreira, Justin Aragão, Nuno M, Davey Han, Manny Valadão, Dave Tasca. They're all here, and thank you, all of you, for joining us. But Cristiano, it's been a while since we have spoken on here, man. Miss you, bro.
Olha a fotografia que o gajo foi pôr ali. Epá.
Não gostas? É bonita, pá.
No, that reminds me of the winter.
That was in the winter.
It was in the winter.
A couple years ago, if I may add.
That was like 8 years ago. Not 8, I'm sorry. At least 4.
4 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago. That's been a while.
Yeah, that's pre-COVID, I think, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That has to be pre-COVID, right? That was us at the Red Bull game.
That was rough. That was like fall of
easily 4 or 5 years, right?
Fall of 18. That was fall of 18.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years at least.
I remember.
That was before COVID. A while ago, man. It was quite a bit ago. But anyway, let's look at this Portimonense game. I'll give you the lineup and we'll get into it. Flaco Dimos was in goal. Auschnes, Silva, Morato, and Grimaldo. Of course, Otamendi was serving his yellow card suspension or his yellow card accumulation suspension. So Morato slotted in there. Neves and Chiquinho, João Mário, Neres, Rafa, and Ramos. Chris, let me. I know that you haven't been here the past couple of weeks to discuss João Neves. Clearly, there's been an improvement ever since he got the nod to start.
João Neves?
What do you thought? Yeah, João Neves. Did I say Neves?
João Neves. I was like, who? That's a new player.
John Snows.
John Snow. He's about as tall as him, too.
Yeah, he is. What'd you think, man? What do you think of the kid so far?
Man, but
I know.
Alfred, tu andas com papai do caralho. I think we talked about this.
We talked, but he's played two games that have been significant.
I think
but you haven't been here.
No, but I talked about it before, though. I think he made an appearance in the game, and I came on here and I talked so much about the kid where I think I said something along the lines. Now, my memory's shot, but if I recall correctly, it was like, this kid looks like he's a baller. Looks like he's a legit player. And I'm so ecstatic about the fact that this kid, obviously has been a godsend, to be honest. I mean, he's been everything that this midfield has been missing since Enzo departed for Blue Waters. And the one thing, if you recall, was that I mentioned that he doesn't have the fanfare of the Paul Bernardo's and all those other guys. That like now this kid is legit, and I don't want the fans and the media to start overhyping. Let the kid be a kid. Let the kid play. And look, to his credit, he's been nothing short of spectacular in his 2 starts for Benfica. Both of his starts, man of the match. He's been everything you wanted and needed, and especially in this crucial time of the season where it was imperative that Benfica was able to control the midfield, able to create chances, able to recover the ball. He's done it. He's done it all. He's been a complete midfielder. And to my surprise, I mean, and I think I would like to think to a lot of people's surprise, we didn't expect it this soon. I think the kid's been brilliant, man. So very excited for him. And, just at the right time, the team seems to have turned it around. Now, is it a direct effect of him being in the lineup or not? I don't know, but I know that he's a part of it. So, ecstatic, man. Very, very, very happy for this kid. He's one of ours, and he's a kid that is not hyped up. To me, I think that's the most important thing, because you know me. Over the years, everybody gets behind all these kids, and I'm like, Alfredo, you and I have conversations. I'm like, no. And till now, I've been proven right. But most of the time, it's hard for me to sit there and jump on that bandwagon because I don't believe in it. And in this kid, I actually do see a lot of positives in this kid, man. The kid it looks like he's a baller. It's early, but yeah, these first 2 starts at the Benfica shirt has been nothing short of spectacular.
Yeah, but and as Cristiano, you took the words out of my mouth, and what I was going to say is that you don't easily endorse products from the Seychelles, especially if your first assessment is, look, he's young, but I don't think he's there. But for you to give your endorsement to João Neves, man, I think that's just quite a lot. And like I said, you don't give that endorsement away too easily. So, but I wanted to hear your opinion because, you've been absent the last couple of weeks, and clearly these past couple games, he's been a crucial, if not one of the best players on this Benfica team. But I hadn't heard your opinion from these starts, and that's why I wanted to.
Yeah, so far, man, far, so good, spectacular, everything flying colors. But I just warn, man, I warn against the Benfiquismo. I warn against all this crazy hype. We need to just be grounded, let the kid develop. Let's not put too much on him. You start hearing dumb stuff on Twitter. I wouldn't even sell him for 100 million. I'm like, let's relax. The kid,
exactly.
Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. This is a legit one. That's why I'm asking for pay. This is a legit one. It looks like when I say legit, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about this kid's going to be the next Zinedine Zidane. He's going to be a world power. Nothing along those lines. I'm just saying he looks like he's a legit player, a player that has the ability to make a huge difference on this team. And let's just enjoy him. Let's enjoy it. Let the kid develop. Yeah. Unlike the mother sippers that come up and everybody, oh my God, this guy on the B team was, oh my. And it's like, come on, dude, stop. This kid actually has the goods. So let's savor it. Let's savor it. Let's not put.
Yeah, you can contrast it with Paul Bernardo, right? And everybody knows what your opinion is on Paul Bernardo. But let's move on.
Yeah, but I think it's unfair. See, You're being unfair because you're mentioning one.
Why am I being unfair?
Because you're mentioning
you
one.
were never on the Paul Bernardo train.
Dude, I could name you a laundry list of guys I haven't been on. So I just think it's unfair to name one. But yeah, you're accurate. I haven't even paid attention to what he's done at Paso Ferreira. I'm not sure. But I can guarantee you, I seriously doubt he's going to have a say on next year's roster for Benfica. Obviously, we still have two very important games remaining on this season. We're not here to talk about next season yet. But you mentioned him. I don't think he's going to have a papel on this roster, like João Neves is going to have. And so, let's not single out anybody, Alfred. You like to get people in trouble. You hold conversations.
Nah, no such thing. No such thing. So let's get right into the game. Benfica came out strong, got it on the board early. 4-minute goal by Grimaldo off of an assist from Auschwitz on the back post. And we created a few more chances, but it wasn't until the 29th minute that an own goal put us ahead by 2 goals. We then gave up one.
Go ahead. Listen. I gotta say something to you because I haven't said this to you in a while.
Voilà, dis lá.
I remember the time we'd come on here on this beautiful podcast of ours. Along with, you named the guests, you named the other hosts on at the time, you name them. And we discussed play by play. Now you're just like, yeah, we scored at this minute, we scored at we could sometimes we need to pump the brakes, talk about the beginning of the game, the initial portion of the game where Benfica, I thought coming into this game, I thought it was going to be a tricky game. I thought Portimonense, with all the links to the other club that we all know so well about by this time, we thought they were going to make Benfica's life miserable, and it was imperative that Benfica came out of the gate swinging and applying all sorts of pressure and trying to suffocate them in their own end, and that's exactly what Benfica did. Now,
yeah, I thought the team played well.
Yes, I interrupted you because what I'm going to say next.
You're going to talk about the Gonçalo Ramos crossbar shot.
A lot of people, no, that's after. Again, you're already like a half hour ahead.
The Neves shot.
I'm still in I'm still in the 3rd minute.
In the 3rd minute before the goal?
No, right in the goal. Which is, look, Benfica did what they had to do. They pressed. They created opportunities. They got that early goal. The only thing I will tell you is this, and you know me, I'm very fair. I come on here week after week and I say, if I put myself in, if that was called against Benfica, what would I be saying? And to me, thank you very much. Finally, one of these bogus calls, I don't want to call it bogus, but one of these 50-50 calls goes our favor. But I haven't seen the view from any angle that ball went over the line. That's the only thing I wanted to say. To me,
I forgot all about that play. That's why I didn't even touch it.
Bro,
but you're right.
But and the crazy thing is, it came from the linesman, and it's just embarrassing. And this is why I wanted to. Wanted to talk about it. It's embarrassing that we're talking about a league that wants to call themselves a top 5 league, a league that wants to compete to be a top 5 league. Right? It was at least in 6 until. As late as this season, right now they're back to 7th because the great powerful Netherlands, I don't even what Netherlands, yeah, because now they have a bunch of different names, but the Eredivisie, whatever it's called, they jumped over the Portuguese league. But again, it's a league that wants to be amongst the big boys, and yet we don't have any type of goal line technology. We don't have any type of cameras. It's embarrassing that we could not. And again, think about this. And we care less about our neighbors or our friends up north. But the fact is, swap it. Switch it around. Let Benfica be the team chasing and let our rivals from up north get a goal like this. We'd all be crying because this could be a crucial goal, right? Obviously, that goal early on was able to calm things down, and Benfica was able to sail on through ever since then. But just imagine that goal went in, called by a linesman from 30, 40 yards away.
Not 30, 40 yards away.
What? Come on, Alfred. He's on
I think the linesman's well positioned to make that call. Because it's a cross that doesn't come from that deep.
Espera. Did you see any angles of where the linesman was standing? I didn't see it.
I didn't see angles that the ball went in. You talking to me about the angles about the linesman.
The linesman was. That's what you're like. But you said I think the linesman was well positioned. I didn't see. So I'm just frank. Well, based on what I saw. Right? And I think that it's come on, bro. It's Bush League. It's Mickey Mouse. You want to be a big boy. All right? Get goal line technology. Do what you got to do. Implement the camera angles. Implement cameras throughout all these little stadiums because these are your stadiums. This is your league. And so I just wanted to mention that. And I know some people are gonna hate me on it, like because I was actually with some family members that were like, no, that went in. I said, what? Oh, I saw this angle. I'm like, you must be the only one. So hey, listen, I'm glad. I'll take it. But I'm just saying, man, this could open up a can of worms. I think the league needs to do better. I think they need to implement all these other safety measures and stuff like that, goal line technology and everything. Because again, if this was our rival, we'd all be sitting here like, come on, it's the same matter that always goes on in Portugal. And we have to be fair. You know what I mean? You know me, I'm a fair guy. So I just wanted to mention.
Yeah, no, look, I know what you're saying. I think at the very minimum, in terms of minimum of cameras you have, the minimum angles that you have, you should have one of the goal line. It's crucial that you have one of the goal line.
But the problem is, but that's why I mentioned, I think the goal line technology is better because, again, when you're talking about goal, like these little stadiums, where are you going to hang a camera on net?
I mean, you could these days. Cameras are so easy to place, man. You could place a camera on top of one of the stands, just overlooking the goal. I don't know, man.
Some of these stadiums don't even have stands.
Hang a fucking cable or something.
Get a drone. Put a drone over there.
Put a drone there and change the battery every 5 minutes. No, I just think that yes, it's shitty that we didn't see a replay that would say that was clearly a goal, right? From the perception that I have is that the ball did go inside the net. Now, whether or not the ball crossed the entire plane,
that's the point.
That's a different story.
The goalie was inside. Did the ball cross the line? Some of the ball crossed the line. I can't tell you. And look, just to bring the Freddies along, right? Carlos Amato says, I think the ball was in. There's a good use of the shadows at the ball.
I saw the picture of the shadow, bro.
Shadow, I mean, okay, it was y'all make a Phil picks the Tawny Phil's always wrong. He sees a shadow. Come on, stop. Disgusting.
No, there was somebody that posted a picture of a shadow, and the shadow showed that the ball was in the goal. I don't know how you figure that out, but Hugo Gil had that. I saw that picture. Gilles had that picture.
But listen, the shadows are again. We could sit here and discuss all these silliness, But the fact of the matter is, the league needs to implement goal line technology or cameras. I think that's what they need to do, because this becomes silly. Have conversation now. It's about what you've seen as opposed to what I saw. Come on, bro. There's in these crucial games, we're talking about a game that can decide Champions League appearance for a team, and now the funds is going to keep skyrocketing, going up to 100 million in 2 years. It could really dictate what goes on. And again, I would hate to be the team on the other side in terms of if this was for our rivals, you know what we'd all be saying, like 40 years of this stuff. Because again, none of us saw the ball clearly go in, and so I think they need to implement these measures. I just wanted to mention them, and let's move along.
And I'll give you this. I mean, they nominated the best referee in Portugal for this game. So why not have the latest and greatest and best camera angles available to him?
Artur Soares Dias, because he went in ref at the Bernabeu, so now he's the best again. That's it. He ref at the Bernabeu. Ask Madridistas how they feel about him, if they thought he did a good job.
Yeah, apparently not from what I have read.
But look, I know were calling me. I'm like, who is this guy? You don't understand.
But look, a goal is still a goal. But I completely understand. I'm totally on board with you. The own goal actually helped, but I thought that first half Benfica dominated that first half. We did concede that one goal, which I thought the defense was a little bit passive in terms of what.
Calma, bro. We didn't even get that. I want to talk about. So we got the second goal and an own goal. Gonçalo Ramos, my man, up until a certain point, he was having a difficult time scoring. He's got a 3-on-3.
He's been having a difficult time.
He cranks one from 30 yards out, hits the crossbar. It looks like a phenomenal shot, which it was, but it was the worst decision possible. You could tell my man was pressing, but Benfica kept on pressing. Benfica kept on trying to create opportunities. And then he finally gets his goal. The monkey is off his back. And hopefully now this elevates this guy back to that confidence that it needs to have at this level to, hopefully go into Alvalade and take care of business. But again, it's been a bad football after bad football. Fortunately for us, we're able to put some plays together. We're able to finish some plays. But it's 2 games left. The pressure's definitely. I know I haven't been on here in a while. I haven't talked about it. The pressure's getting to these guys, and it's been messing up with their thinking. But credit to him, stuck in there, kept at it. Benfica goes into the half with a nice, comfortable lead. What was it? 3-1? 3-1.
Yep.
Look, goes another one of those. The ball gets crossed into the box. Morato, João Mario, miscommunication, hits Morato. Morato could have reacted a little bit earlier. Did not react earlier enough in the clearance. And again,
I like it when you take notes.
No, these are just things I just.
No, you came prepared today. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey man, when you don't show up for a couple of weeks, you get. I see Carlos Amaro and everybody writing tweets to everybody doing it, and you feel like, yo, I got the pressure's on. See, I'm not like Gonçalo Ramos. I step up. The pressure
step up and you deliver.
My place is in danger here on the podcast, and I come prepared.
In danger. Yeah, no. Look, I know that we haven't spoken in a couple of weeks, especially over here on the podcast publicly, but I think that the team has progressed well. These past couple games, they've done better. I thought this game, again, they played a good game. And I think they've carried a momentum from that Braga game, and they've been playing better and better each time, more confident. But you're right, the pressure's on. You got an all too important game against Sporting now that could go either way. That there's no favorites because it's a derby. But I mean, you're confident that you got past these couple teams that were going to be possible issues, especially Braga. Then you went up north. So difficult games.
To touch on Braga, bro, I got to be honest. I had zero, Alfredo, zero confidence that Benfica was going to pull a result in that game. I was hoping for that, at the very least, a draw. Braga was coming in playing very good football. Benfica, as we knew, was struggling mightily. To you, it's progressed. To me, it's that Braga game. Benfica did enough to win the game. They could have scored a couple more opportunities. Gonçalo Ramos wide open. I still can't imagine. I still can't fathom how you missed that. But you could tell the pressure still getting to these guys. I think what Benfica has done is they've weathered the storm. They've weathered it, and I think they've come out of the darkness. And now again, look, Portimonense, Alfredo. Let's not come over and pump our chest and act like they just be a formidable opponent. I mean, it's Portimonense. It's the Monks. They Benfica.
But it could have been a tricky fixture because of the stuff off the pitch.
Yes, no, for sure. It could have been tricky. But even that being said, this is still a game that Benfica had to win. And and having conversations leading up into this game with Hugo and a couple other guys that call me all week and we talk about these things, sometimes we like to complicate things, and I tried to simplify it for everybody. When you speak to Hugo, you'll ask him, and I remember getting on him one day, like, man, leave me alone, because you wanted to talk about the game. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this. It's very simple. If Benfica want to be champions, they have to win this game. There's no ends, ifs, or buts about it. It's like if you want to be a championship caliber team, you have to go into Portimonense, regardless of how many malos, regardless of how many outside influences are involved in this game. You have to win this game, and that's exactly what Benfica did. Benfica went in, and that's the one thing that I'm happy about, regardless of the competition being weak. Because in my mind, you know me, I think different than you, right? It's always, bro, they did what they had to do. It's weak opponents, weak competition. They have to do that. And to their credit, they did. So 2 games left, and that's all we could really look forward to now.
Yeah. In the second half, Tino came in for Chiquinho, who picked up a yellow card. Then there was a missed PK call on Ramos. It couldn't have been more obvious than that when Ramos got pulled by his shoulder. I don't even know why Tu Soares Diaz wasn't called by the VAR to go look at that. But there was a clear penalty to me. You remember that? Remember that?
I remember it, but I'm afraid to be honest with you. Right, I didn't want to talk about this before, but I thought
you want to talk about it.
No, not this. I'm saying what I'm about to mention now. I didn't want to talk about this before because I started talking about how that goal to me. Again, I'm not saying it didn't go in, but I'm not saying it went in as well. You know what I mean? That type of thing. But I wanted to piggyback on that, but I said I decided to leave it alone. But now since you're talking about a penalty, I thought in the first half that there was a possible penalty against Benfica. I thought that the ball crossed into the box, hit Morato in the hand. One thing that I was shocked was we know.
Oh, the header that came across.
came across
saw
and
that.
hits him. And I thought his hand was out of position, right? Like they say, if it's not in a, whatever, one of the, whatever it's called, the proper word that they use for the position, you're a referee, if it's not, I thought to me it was a penalty. I was shocked. That Sport TV, who is able to find angles sometimes and not find it. I was shocked that we never got a close up of that play. So
yeah, no, I just thought that it wasn't something. It kind of like it's not that close range, but it's something that he's jumping.
Hey,
the ball just hits him. I don't know. It was like a weird play that you can't say. I can't say for sure. And
we
looking
can't
from
say
a
for
neutral,
sure because we didn't see a close up. That's why.
But I can't say for sure that that's a penalty call. That's even a play that should be reviewable by VAR. When I look at it, and that's from a neutral position, right? Like that angle that we always take. That if it was called against us or for us, would we have accepted it? So I just think that it's one of those calls, man. It didn't look like he raised the hands to block the ball. I thought it was just like he was in emotion of the jump. I don't know. It was just a weird play, but it didn't seem that to be an obvious handling. And a lot of people forget that the call is not handball. The call is handling, which there's a distinct difference between those two words, handball and handling.
Whichever way you spin it, Alfredo, I was shocked that Arturo Suarez Diaz and the beautiful VAR guys did not go back to that. That's it. And then obviously bringing it forward now to what you were talking about, that was a clear tug. I mean, the dude pulled him down. I don't know. Maybe they said Benfica's leading. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were thinking about, but we've seen these calls. That's why I mentioned the Morato penalty, because to me, there was definitely a ball on the hand, whether you want to say it was intentional or not. And the fact that we've seen these calls against Benfica, they're able to make the right call. They're able to go to VAR. In favor of Benfica, I'm not surprised again that they didn't go to the VAR with Gonçalo. So it's just the inconsistency of our referees, our league, and
the best referee in Portugal, dude. Inconsistent? Nah.
But it's not him. In this case, it was the VAR. In this case, it's the VAR.
Yeah, but that's all. Oh, the VAR is not part of his week in, week out
the VAR,
team.
At the end of the day, like, you can criticize him all you want for it, but that's the VAR is there. If he has doubt, he lets it go, and then the VAR is the one that's supposed to call him over to the side and say, "Look, I think you might have missed something. I'd like you to take a look at it." So
maybe the VAR wasn't working because it didn't get that one. It didn't get the Gonçalo Ramos one.
And both, no, but they went to VAR. Remember, the Rafa scores a goal. It was like offsides by a couple of inches. So VAR worked. Benfica had 2 goals called back due to VAR. Don't forget that.
But you're right. Inconsistency is the word, I think, in here, if you want to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen worse things get called in this Benfica. So I was surprised.
Yeah.
With the first half, and then in the second half, I was not surprised that there wasn't a penalty kick at least called in favor of Benfica for a clear tug. So, look, the important thing is that Benfica handled their business. Musa comes in. Musa does what Musa does.
Yeah. Carlos is saying that he agrees on the shock, and that was Conceição's kid that grabbed Ramos. No way the ref is going to call that one.
Was it? I didn't.
Yeah. It was. He has the same name as him, Sergio Conceição.
I wasn't even paying attention. Dude, look, I'm glad. I went that whole game not even aware that Conceição's kid was on the team. That was a good thing.
No, he came in. Because
I probably would have been, the rival probably would have been elevated to the next level.
Yeah, but you were saying that Musa closed it out with 2 goals. Look, and a lot of people are clamoring for Musa to get more time. What's your take on that? Is Musa just our super sub, or should Musa get more time in your mind?
I'm not a Musa guy, but I thought that the way that Gonçalo Ramos has played over the last month and a half, I mean, it warranted a change. You know what I mean? I don't like that message you send to your team that no matter how bad you're playing, you're never going to get out. I mean, think about it. You're on the bench working hard week in, week out. And look, what message is that sending to you? That no matter what, the kids are not getting, the other guy's not getting off the field. And so if it's about competition, it's about putting the best guys in there, when they're playing great at the time. I thought it was the wrong message to send. But look, I guess it finally paid off. Gonçalo scored, but Musa did what he had to do. I'm not a big Musa fan, but the guy comes in, works. And I just think sometimes you need to have a change of pace, change things up a little bit. To spice it up. Even if it's just to light a fire up under, Ramos's bum, right? I thought that he should have done that. I think
Yeah, I think
could have
it's
easily done
you
that.
know you're giving the defense a different look also because you got Gonçalo Ramos who's a totally different player than Musa. So maybe like you said, maybe it's a change of pace. Maybe it's a change of pace. Maybe it's a guy that gets physical and at the time that he's coming in, a lot of these guys are somewhat worn out and maybe they're not gonna
Yeah, it's definitely
bang
part of it.
bodies with him. I don't know,
It's definitely
but
part of it, but at the same time, I think he just due to the lack of quality performances by Ramos, by Rafa, by João Mario. It just I understand you don't have crazy options, but at the same time, this is a guy that's been here since day one, preseason, has played all season. He's come off the bench boatload of times, scored a couple of crucial goals. And at the end of the day, again, just to keep guys motivated and get guys on their tippy toes, I think Roger could have sent that message, but obviously he opted not to do it. And to my surprise, but at the same time, should we really be surprised? The one thing about Schmidt is that he shows he's got that Jorge Jesus quality, stubbornness, stubbornness. And so,
look, I think every coach is gonna have a little bit of a stubborn bone in him. I think just some of them are were a lot more stubborn than others.
yeah, but if things aren't
But
working, bro, Alfredo, but if things aren't working, you have
I'm with you.
something else.
I'm with you that both Joe Mario and Hum should have already gotten some bench time. And even you can make the argument for Rafa, even though that
Jurgen,
Rafa's
he was the
kind of
worst
pulled
one.
out of it.
He was the worst one out of them all. He should have been gone.
But
a long time ago.
he's pulled out of it a little bit, I think. He's playing a lot better. But I just think that Ramos up until this game wasn't really playing all that great.
I
And João Mario, forget about João Mario.
I apologize to you, meu grande amigo, that I don't get excited for this guy showing up now when the pressure is gone and the toughest competition. Now the monk will show up and now he shows up. I mean, come on, bro. I'm sorry, I don't get excited for that. I don't give guys a pass. I won't forget the performances against Porto, both performances against Inter. I don't forget those things, Alfredo. So you can do all you want to do against, the Portimonenses, the Casa Pias, and whatever you want to do. I know he scored a nice goal against Braga. He closed his eyes. I mean, go back and watch. Close his eyes. He never even looks up at Mateus when he shoots that. Then he has another opportunity, 2-on-1. He chips it over to goal. The guy's just not played well. And so you guys want to praise him for staying consistent and beating on the monks, because at the end of the day, let's not lose sight of what the prize is here, which is winning the title. And so
Yeah.
look, he's doing what he has to do. Let's get this home, bring it home, pick up the Caneco, get number 38. I get that. I understand. But I'm not going to be patting him on the back. That's just me. You know me. I'm a SOB.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. And this
I
is
just want- yo,
Ramos,
Glenn-
this is not Ramos that Rafa you're talking about.
Glenn Gomes says, I guess he heard about, or he's asking, or he says he's heard, I don't hear about how FIFA doesn't want to allow audio between the refs and VAR to be heard. I think that's BS. I think they preach about conspiracy, transparency, and now they don't want. I think every league in the world, I think all these things should be at least accessible to coaching staffs. Maybe you don't want to make it to the fans, but the coaching staff should be able to get to it after every game or whatever, or even in lifetime.
I think it's counterintuitive, right? Because if you're introducing VAR, right, to be an object of truth,
A verdade sport.
a verdade esportiva, right? Why not share the audios? I've been an advocate of this for the longest time, right? Because the thing is that there's a lot of conversation that goes on between referees that offers a technical aspect to the rule, right? And I think that would only educate fans in terms of refereeing and the calls that are being made. Because at times they're correct, but because people don't know what the rules are, and referees are not making them available for fans think that they're making the wrong call. If the referee has nothing to hide, and we've heard communications between VAR. I think there was not too long. Glenn Gomes posted an exchange today on Twitter that I was listening to. There was also an exchange with the lady referee in the Brasileirão, if I'm not mistaken.
I saw that.
And look, those are the type of there's no.
And she made the wrong call, by the way.
She made the wrong call, but the VAR called her, and the
the
interpretation that she had is different from what the VAR. But all the VAR said, we think it was excessive force. Go look at it, and when she looked at it, but it's perfectly fine. I'm fine with the answer because
on the sideline, Alfredo. She said, "No,
she almost got murdered." Yeah, no, but the thing is. But yeah, but the thing is that as a fan that I'm watching, I'm completely satisfied that was her interpretation of the play.
And by the way, just so you know, in that game, Alfredo, I think since you mentioned the woman referee, I think we should mention the whole thing. It was woman referee, women's linesman, fourth linesman, and the VAR. They were all women. Just so you know.
Yeah, they're all women.
Yeah,
it was a whole women's team. But look, I loved it because there's a lot of technical speak or talk while they're communicating, and as a referee I know what that language is, and I know that because I've had exchanges with assistants or main referees if I'm a linesman that are borderline on that. Obviously we're not reviewing VAR, but he's asking me what did you see, and I'm telling him this is what I saw, and we kind of exchange ideas. But I think that would be perfect to not only provide clarity, understanding, but also to educate fans. So I'm an advocate of that. And if FIFA introduced VAR to provide clearness and fairness to the game, why not share? Why not share the audio?
On the head. If this is about getting it right, what do you got to hide? Why not?
Exactly.
You try to make it right. Go ahead. We applaud you. Make it right. So then we're hiding.
Yeah, just like via goal line technology for the Portuguese league. I saw a bunch of measures that Pedro Proença announced, but none of them was goal line technology.
No, I don't know. Dude, that dude, I don't even know. Listen, Rainy Entertainment says he was fresh off injury, to be fair. I don't know. Rainy, I don't know
who is fresh off injury.
That's why I mentioned. Rainy, go ahead, feel free to.
I know that you were talking. We were talking about Ramos, then you were talking about Rafa.
Yeah. Or Musa, I don't know. I think it was Rafa. I think he's referring to Rafa, but that was a while ago. Rafa came off injury a while ago already. He's been back for a while.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, the all too important 3 points against Porto B, final result of 5-1. Musa getting those last 2 goals, one off of an assist from Rafa and the other one unassisted, which the goalie released the ball and he put it away. Important 3 points.
Yeah, very crucial 3 points. Obviously gives Benfica, I don't want to call it a little bit of breathing room, but because you never want to slip up, and especially against your internal rival, your crosstown rival. But it gives you that gives you what's the word I'm looking for? It gives you that Max diz Alfredo, that failure, that gives you error. The error. Cushion for error. That's the word I'm looking for.
Error margin?
Gives you the cushion for error. God forbid.
Yeah.
Things happen. You still come home and you control things. At the start of the lose with all your fans. Last game against Santa Clara.
Against an affiliate club.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go down that path. See, starting the.
But that's what the antis are saying, right? Even their emblem looks like ours.
We're gonna say regardless, yeah. But so we say the same thing about them, and it doesn't faze them. But the fact is that look, it's an important game. Benfica at Stade Alvalade, a place that Benfica's had success at. Let's not act like it's been a building that Benfica can't get wins in. So, if they handle their business, Benfica could very well be celebrating the championship on Sunday. But let's not forget, Porto plays a very tough game at Portimão
before us
on Saturday. And if they drop points, especially if they lose, then Benfica is virtually, they're champs. They go into Alvalade celebrating. But we gotta, as of right now, when we're recording this podcast, nothing is assured yet. We're sitting here giving our input and our opinion on what we think is going to happen. And right now, Benfica needs to go into Stade Alvalade and apply their best football. We understand it's silly, but we know that Sporting has been getting ready and lining up for this game. They've had it circled in their calendar for the biggest time now. This is the game of the season for them.
Yeah.
So we have to show up. it's nice. It would be nice, Alfredo, to see Benfica win another game against the Big Three. I know we beat Porto the first game. We lost the second one. We lost to Braga. We won the second one. And then the Sport, we tie? I think, yeah. So, you know,
did we tie him?
I don't remember. I think we tied him. If I'm not mistaken. I think we did at Stade de Luz. I don't remember. That shows up.
No, man.
No? I think we tied.
No, we tied. Yeah, we tied him. That was the game that I went to see.
Yeah. Like you said, you were there, so that's what put that on me. I think
we tied him.
Yeah, they tied. So again, it'd be nice to get to get that W. Not only it's against your rival, a huge game, practically secures the championship. But at the same time, you get another W in the column, and it looks nice. Because these games against your rivals, against the big teams, it's important. Like I mentioned before, beating the Santa Claras, the Portimonenses, that's the least this team could do. But playing these big games and winning these games, this is how, you get the fans involved, you get everybody motivated, you get everybody's juices flowing once again.
Yeah, I think you also put an emphatic exclamation point on the championship by winning against Sporting and clinching the title with that game. I think that is a nice way to finish off the season and clinch the championship. The game takes place on Sunday at 8:30 local. That's 3:30 here, and if you live in the East Coast of the U.S. The last 10 games, Jesus. The last 10
That's
games,
we missed eight.
I know. Last 10 games that we played at the Alvalade, 3 wins for Sporting, 4 ties, and 5 wins for Benfica. So we've had the more of the win slice in the last 10 matches that we played at the Alvalade, and I hope that that Sunday will be just another one. I don't anticipate Roger Schmidt changing much. I know that Ba got some minutes against Portimonense towards the end. I know he's coming back from injury, but I think at this point, if you look at this lineup, are you changing anything in this lineup if you're Roger Schmidt?
If I'm Roger Schmidt, or who I think he's going to change this.
No, if you're Roger Schmidt,
he's stubborn. I just mentioned 10 minutes ago. He's stubborn. He's going to go with the same exact lineup. It's going to go with the same lineup that's been working lately. Arsenal at right back, Chiquinho and Neves in the middle. It's going to be the same exact lineup, Alfredo. He's not changing anything. He's a firm believer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I know that we've seen Roger Schmidt get outcoached at times in this league this season. Do you think he'll prepare the team well for this game, or do you think that Amorim will have the last laugh?
Foda-se. No, I think no. Look.
I rate Ruben Amorim. I think Ruben Amorim is a good coach.
It's the same cliches year after year, Alfredo, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to use them once again, which is, man, it's a rivalry game. You throw records out the table, out the window. It's just both teams are going to be ready to play. This is a big game, packed stadium, huge atmosphere, title on the line for Benfica. Benfica is going to, at least I like to think, Benfica is going to bring it. Sporting is going to do everything they can to defend their house and defend their honor. They don't want Benfica celebrating in their stadium. So it's got all the makings of fireworks on Sunday at Stade Alvalade. I think Roger Schmidt's going to do exactly what he's done all year long, is play down, the importance of the game. It's just another game, guys. We need to go out. It's a big opponent. I don't think he's gonna want to apply extra pressure on these guys by changing anything. I think it's just status quo.
Yeah,
you don't think so?
Look, yeah. Look, I think so. I think that
can't deal with pressure, bro. Why the coach?
Yeah, I just think that in a game like this, I think that it kind of tugs at the motivation strings, if I may use that term.
Vish Paduliso said there's a creepy guy on the left. Oh, I guess
that's Cristiano.
No, but I was thinking, oh man, I read the rest of the call. I thought he was talking about Grimaldo, the creepy guy on the left, but I guess that was me. Never mind. God was asking, do you start Grimaldo? Thought that's why I thought he was talking about the left. I didn't.
To me, you start Grimaldo. And we'll get into the Grimaldo situation in a little bit, but or we could get into it now. To me, start Grimaldo. I think that I don't think there was many Benfiquistas that thought that Grimaldo was going to stay at Benfica. I think that if the numbers were close, if both parts were close, I think that Benfica would have done the deal already. I think the fact that it's taken this long, or that it took this long before today's announcement, was a clear sign that neither part was happy with what was being offered. So I thought it was inevitable that Grimaldo was going to go elsewhere. Now, I think what everyone agrees is that the timing of the announcement is complete crap. Complete crap. But then again,
the
club hasn't
the Grimaldo thing already, or
the Grimaldo thing.
Talking about it.
No, I mean, since Carlos Grimaldo had asked whether we should start Grimaldo or not, the timing is shitty, as I was mentioning. The club hasn't come out and said anything in terms of the timing. Everybody's making an assumption that maybe this was with the agreement of the club, which I doubt, because why wouldn't the clubs just say, "Hey, just wait a few more days. Let us clinch the championship, and then you could announce it." I mean, if you've already agreed,
I had no say, Alfredo.
No, I don't think they had a say, but they could have said.
There's nothing they could have said, Alfredo. There's nothing they could stop.
But listen,
you're making it more complicated. Grimaldo's the one that should have had. Alfredo, I'm not trying to play you out, but like, what's Benfica gonna say? Benfica não vai mandar nos outros. Os outros é que tem que considerar Benfica.
I understand. I completely understand. But what I'm saying is that 7 seasons at Benfica, I mean, you're talking to somebody, right? And when you're talking to somebody and you're saying, "Hey, look, I'm about to reach an agreement with Leverkusen." Let's say he's talking to Rui Costa, for example. Why doesn't Rui Costa say, "Hey, that's great, congratulations. Let's just delay that announcement"?
But how do you know
as a courtisi?
As a courtesy. That's what I'm saying. But we don't know if he didn't. Maybe he did say it.
We don't know if he did.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he did. Grimaldo, and again, listen, bro. It's very simple. I don't think Rui Costa should have to say anything. I think Grimaldo should have respect and consideration for the club. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we're sitting here and we're playing ifs or buts. Like, we have no idea if Rui Costa did. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't come to that. It should come to you having respect for me, having respect for a house that opened its doors to you, having respect for a house that gave you an opportunity to play big time football, that brought you to first division, that brought you into professional football. You know what I'm saying, Alfredo? And he clearly showed no consideration or fucks given for this club. And again,
that's very typical Grimaldo, right? From what we know of Grimaldo.
Exactly. It's not the first time he's done it. That's why I've never cared for him. I've always been like, all right, leave.
We had the fiasco last season when he basically went against the club and didn't want to play the last game or whatever the fuck happened. You already had an example this season, and we've seen plenty of times where after a loss, I think, or a tie, or whatever, the fans went to the stands and he was.
What was it? It was the loss that we had to Schaff.
Yeah.
The Schaff.
He was the one telling the team not to come back into the locker room. I mean, look, we've seen plenty of examples from Grimaldo that hasn't really pleased us. He's definitely not a fan favorite. Well, you could also make the argument that this is the best season that he's played for Benfica because he's on a contract year.
Look,
you can make that argument.
I could care less about him. The only thing that upsets me,
I don't care either.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't give two craps about him. The one thing, honestly, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, to me, he's never been as good as people made him out to be. Yes, he's been one of our better left backs over the last 15, 20 years, but that's only because every other option we've had has been freaking terrible. And so, look, I don't want to.
And the ones before him have been terrible.
That's what I'm saying. The options in between. I said the last 15 years, Alfredo. You know what I mean? The options have been trashed. The few and the good ones have all left quickly, and he didn't leave for a reason. And so, I've never been hyped up on that train. But look, Grimaldo did nothing wrong. He wants to sign. He's entitled to. He technically, if you really want to go by the rule of law, he could have signed with another club as early as January. He's had all this time to do it. He's entitled. He wants to play according to him. in a league where stadiums and atmosphere, and again, I respect that. I would want to do that as well. Do I want to play in Tondela and Rio Ave in front of 3,000 fans, or do I want to play in front of 25,000 fans every single week? I'd rather do that. You know what I'm saying? So he can have his reasons for it. He's entitled to. Now, the part that is, it's just the timing. It reeks of desperation on Leverkusen's part. I'm shocked at Leverkusen, because normally these German clubs, they got some class in them. And I'm just shocked that they could not wait to announce this guy. I don't understand what the rush was. You could have waited. You didn't even have to wait 2 more weeks. You could have waited 1 more week, because if Benfica handles their business on Sunday, go ahead. Announce all you got to announce. But it just showed his lack of respect, man, and lack of consideration for where this club is right now. I think every player in that locker room pretty much knew. Players talk, Alfredo. And some players are represented by the same player, by the same agents. You might not be telling me, but he's our agent because represents the two of us. He's telling me, he's giving me inside information to certain things. So one way or another, I know, then I spill the beans. Players know. They understand. Some of these players are going to look to leave Benfica in the near future as well. It is what it is. It's a business. But the lack of respect, the lack of consideration is despicable in my mind. And so now he loses all the benefit of going into a game on Sunday and having a bad game, because look, at any player, it doesn't matter who you are. Messi, Ronaldo had bad games, okay? He has a bad game, and now he loses the benefit of the doubt. Everybody's going to say, and that all could have been avoidable. You know what I'm saying? Even though I haven't always been the biggest Grimaldo fan, he could have left the club numa porta grande. Saía campeão. You know what I mean? Look, I spent my time. I did what I had to do. I've conquered. I've provided what I had to provide.
Yeah.
We've won trophies. Thank you, Benfica. I'll always cherish you guys. I'll cherish these moments. And the guy would have been brought back, a couple of years, comes back to visit, gets applauded. And I think he just spoiled all that for himself.
Yeah, let me read a couple comments here. Nick Valadon says, I always knew he would have left, so I'm not even surprised at the news that he's going to Germany. The timing could have been much better, though. Detashka says, after 7 years, he didn't have any respect for the fans. Do you think he had respect for the club? It's a good point. When you change from Benfica to play for a European club, the guy just wants to get out of there fast. And I don't blame him for the reasons that Cristiano mentioned before. Carlos Amaro says, I just think that once you announce something, there's a psychological effect, a shift in focus. I'm incredibly concerned that he's checked out. Cristiano, you concerned that he's checked out?
No.
Or are you concerned that
not at all.
He now has unburdened himself with the announcement?
Yeah, you could actually, if you want to play it that way, you can, because now that he's assured himself a contract, right? Before, you can say you were more worried about that before, while there was no assurances on where he was going to be next year, because he didn't want to get injured. He didn't want to interromper the wrong way. Could have potentially urged himself, and then clubs were going to shy away from him. Now he's assured himself a deal for next year. Now he's free to go. And I think, look, as I mentioned 10 times already here on the podcast today, I've not always been the biggest Grimaldo fan, but I think I know it shows a lack of character. This announcement shows a lack of character, but it doesn't mean that he's not a professional. I think he's a professional. He understands what's at stake. And I think he'll show up and he'll want to play again. Players want to play in these big games. He's been here for 7.5 years. He understands the rivalry. I'm not concerned. I think he'll play. I think he'll do what he has to do. You're not going to see the guy over there. I mean, he probably will, because nowadays these knuckleheads. But, take off his jersey, thinking of fans and whatever, and then somebody probably turn their back on him and boo him off the field. But I'm not concerned now. I think he's got his deal now. He can breathe now. Now he's got his money.
Yeah. Continues saying, he doesn't agree. He said the deal was already in place before this weekend, and that didn't change the performance on Saturday. He'll go out on a high in the last 2 games. Yeah, but the deal in place and the deal being public are two different things.
No, but I think what Continue was referring to was was to Carlos' question of, do you think that he's a liability now in this game? And what Mike is saying is, no. I mean, he knew that this was happening. This was down the road. He was, he's negotiating with Leverkusen. He was going to leave, and it didn't change his performance. I think that's what Mike was trying to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's agreeing with what I said before, pretty much.
Carlos is gaslighting the whole situation. If he plays,
of course,
and we take care of business, does he go to the Marquez with the team?
Of course. now, listen. That's why I mentioned before when I said after the game we'll be taking off his jersey. Now, now he's going to be trying to play to the fans' strings, to the heart.
So you think, so Mike says he's going to go out on a high, so fans have a good memory.
Right? No,
I get that. I get that.
Then they throw full out high. I'm not even talking about a game Alfredo perform. I'm talking about I'm answering questions directly. Amado asked about the Marquez. I said, yes, I think he'll go there and pull at their strings and, oh, man, I love you guys. Oh, it didn't work, but look, campeão. Like, I think, guys go to he's not, vai virar as costas agora. I mean, the dude's really looking to be hated in Lisbon, bro. I don't think he's doing that.
We shall see. But yeah, but I think he plays. I think he plays the final two games. I think that would be.
Well, he might not play the final two. Time out. If Porto ties and Benfica wins, then he'll do what he did last year: leave before the last game.
Yeah. I wanted to give a chance to the young kids, right? I wanted the young kids to get some playing time because he's the one that makes the decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is what it is.
Look, he's entitled to, man. He's entitled to it.
He is. He's entitled to it.
Every player, when their contract's expiring, going in, like, even let's say next year, a player that his contract is expiring in June 30th of 2024, as of January 1st, he's entitled. He's free to go ahead and negotiate.
6 months, he
can look for another club. Exactly. So he didn't look, Grimaldo did absolutely nothing wrong in terms of picking another team, even signing for another team. He's entitled. The guy, let's not hate the guy for that. Look, sometimes we get upset that, our girl leaves us for another guy and stuff, but it is what it is. You move on, right? It is what it is. Now, I think that what everyone is upset about is the timing of the announcement. I think, you either announced this shit 6 months ago or you announce it after everything is cleared up. Look, I think somebody gave an example where Real Madrid is hard after Jude Bellingham, whatever his name is, from Borussia Dortmund. And there's reports that they've already agreed to personal terms with the player. But Madrid has stayed clear. Madrid has said they're not going to engage with Dortmund because Dortmund is 1 point behind Bayern Munich for the championship, for the Bundesliga title. And they're deciding not to engage because they want to give the team and the player their space, let them handle their business. We'll talk after the season. That's class. That's how you handle it. That's how you not announce it. Now, we're talking about a team that is playing a Europa League semifinal, being down 1-0 to a shit Roma. So it's not crazy to think that they could overturn the result. And now imagine the starting left back going into the Europa League semifinal. What's he thinking? Wait, they just signed my replacement. Do I want to play hard? Like, these guys don't count on me. Why should I bust my ass for the club that doesn't value me? It's just, it reeked of desperation, but I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to calm their fans by acting like they're bringing in, Roberto Carlos. But boy, will they be, pleasantly surprised when Grimaldo's getting burned down that left side? But that's gonna be their problem there. But yeah, man, it's just
the Bundesliga is no mongoose league. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, and Delta's saying at least it's not Maxi Pereira. Yeah. He's not.
Amado says he obviously he doesn't think he's going to go to the Marquez. He thinks he just goes straight to the airport. But that's if they clinch the title, that's the Marquez. Yeah, I think that then I'm with you, Carlos. But I still think I think he'll come out and celebrate with it.
Timo's saying he's going to surprise everyone. He's going to shed tears like Gaetan. He's going to say something to get the fans in the fields. I don't know, man. I don't know. Everything that we've seen from Gaetan, from Grimaldo.
If he goes to the Marquez, he's going to do that. He's going to try, mea culpa, te amo, te quiero mucho, mi gente. Watch, you'll see.
Yeah, look, I think it's definitely not against the law. But the biggest thing is the respect that he should have had, which is unwritten law towards the club, right? And I think that's what
But Benfica
I
last
think.
year, didn't Benfica last year announce the agreement with Roger Schmidt before the season was over?
Yeah, I thought that somebody already had kind of
What?
dispelled that. I'm not sure, but the thing is that I think that oftentimes as Benfiquistas we still get stuck in being enamored with players, and there's this romanticism about players loving the shirt. There's no such thing anymore. There's very few and far between of players that will show that type of class and consideration towards a club that gave him so much. And Grimaldo is not one of those
I
guys.
think the word you were looking for, Alfredo, to bring it all in is hypocrisy. Is that the word you were looking for?
Hypocrisy for what?
Like we can
That
go
Grimaldo's
ahead,
showing?
we can go ahead and chase other teams' players, Ricardo Horta and all this, but God forbid somebody comes after our players. Like,
No, I don't think anything. It has nothing to do with whether a team came after our players or not. I'm just talking about the respect for the club and the timing of the announcement. That's what I'm talking
Benfica
about.
did it last year. The only difference was that Benfica was out of it. Nelson Verissimo knew he wasn't coming back. Well, at least he thought he was, but the rest of us knew he wasn't coming. And technically, the guy was still coaching the team, PSV. Who's
But he already announced that he wasn't going to renew with Eindhoven, I believe.
okay?
Somebody I read today on Twitter somewhere that somebody was kind of was poking that theory, or that's how things happen. I don't know. I just think the biggest thing is just the respect for a club that gave you a professional career.
Agreed. And again, if Benfica was in third place, 8 points behind second, 8 points in front of fourth, whatever. This is a team that's fighting for the championship. Why be a distraction? So that's the biggest problem. Is because again, if Benfica was 10 points ahead, whatever. If the games didn't matter, like in terms of standings, but bro, these games are usually important. This is, the final stretch. This is final 2 games. Win or lose, does it? And it's like he decided to be a distraction, be bigger than the club, and I think that's a negative.
Let's rein on in feelings on this Sporting game, in addition to what you've already mentioned.
What feelings on this game?
Yeah, do you think that that Benfica will play the best version of themselves against Sporting?
I mean, Alfredo, that's us always being the fans in us, right? Always being hopeful that obviously you expect Benfica to go out there and perform to the best of their ability against a ginormous opponent, a Sporting. Man, look, man, I want Benfica to go out, do what they have to do at this stage of the season. Alfredo, you don't get points for you don't get style points. So go out there, do what you have to do. It's FAU. Obviously, we want to see him play pretty football. Wanted to see flowing football, creating chances. I think it will be I do think it will be a game with chances on both sides. But if Benfica has to suffer and hold on for a 1-0 result and just get out of there with the 3 points, man, that to me, right now, just give me the points. I don't care how you do it.
Michael Gonzalez is saying Roger was announced after the season. May 18th, season ended the week before. Yeah, I read that on Twitter. That was the theory. I think it's still in a record. But somebody had done a timeline in terms of the events.
I could have sworn
up until Rogers' announcement.
I could have sworn they announced it and there was still games left. I could have maybe Romano announced it, not everybody else. But I could have sworn there was some type of announcement before. Whatever.
It could have been. What
do you think? If you like to ask me questions, what do you think
about the Sporting game?
Yeah.
Look, I think that if we play like we're capable and we put away chances, I think that we have a good chance of winning the game. But I think that even if we play a little better than Sporting and we don't convert those chances, it's going to be hard. So I just think that the volume of play that you create needs to end up in goals at some point. And I think that's what we have struggled doing in the past 3-4 weeks.
Again, I think it'll be an open. Like I think both teams will get. I don't know about open, but I think both teams will create chances. The one thing about Sporting and Benfica, to be honest with you, is that they're both at their best when countering, when sitting back and countering. And if I remember correctly, the reason why Benfica struggled in the game against Sporting is that Ruben Amorim gave Benfica the ball and Sporting opted to go ahead and just counter because they understood that Benfica is not the strongest with the ball on their feet and that their best is countering. And Benfica, that's their strongest suit as well. So again, it's going to be one of those games. Who wants it more?
Yeah.
I think Benfica will be content with just controlling the pace of the game, getting in their occasional chance. But as you mentioned, if Rafa is not going to convert, if Gonçalo Ramos is not going to take advantage of the few opportunities that you might get in a game like this. But like, man, to me, like this whole tactical conversation, to me, Alfredo, I don't me. I'm a guy that likes to play attractive football. I like results. I like goals. But maybe now we've switched seats. I'm here just saying I don't give a shit. Just get it done. Bring it across the line.
No, I get that. I get that. Sporting obviously playing for pride. They don't want Benfica to celebrate in their stadium. Benfica needed to clinch, and I think that the team has enough talent and quality to beat the Sporting team. But derbies, stats, everything goes out the door. But I think that if we play like we're capable of playing, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to lift the connect at the end of the game.
If Benfica wins, that's it. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 points with one game to go.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Provided that Porto won on Saturday.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, Sporting is going to be extra motivated. They don't trust me.
No, of course not.
They don't. That's been, Ruben Amorim was saying last week he rested some players because he wanted to be at his strongest for Benfica.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mentioned before, they've circled this game in the calendar for a while now. They're going to bring it in terms of attitude and raza and effort.
Yeah.
Will Benfica?
I think that
question mark.
They won't let Benfica win in their stadium and clinch the title. I think
they won't want to. They might not have a choice.
Yeah, I think that Ruben Amorim is a guy that could pull that type of sentiment from his team, regardless of being a derby and them knowing what a derby means. But I think that there's a sentiment that you don't want to see these guys celebrate in your home. So we'll see. But I also heard that a lot of Sportingistas are giving up their tickets to Benfiquistas.
I think that was BS.
You think so?
I think that's BS. Mike says Sporting has to win if they want to dream with the UCL. So it'll be an open game. Benfica can not only win the title at Alvalade, but can knock Sporting out. You're right.
Yeah.
Technically, but again, saying knock them out, that means that Sporting has the destiny in their hands. They don't. All Braga has to do is win their 2 games, and they're good. So Sporting might not have a say regardless. Sporting could be Benfica, still be out of the Champions League. So,
right, because they need their destiny is
their
not
destiny's
controlled
not in
by
their
them.
hands. Yeah, exactly. So,
right. Yeah, that's it. We'll hope for a good game. And that Benfica.
I don't care about the game. I want the points. I was going to invite you over, but every time you come over, we seem to get negative results. But maybe this time.
Yeah, at least when Hugo invites me, we get positive results.
It's Thiago's birthday on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
Special occasion.
So
might be a memorable one.
Yeah, let's hope.
My wife was saying, if you clinch the championship, are you going to Ferry Street?
It's funny.
Fuck no, I'm not going.
It's funny. You want to laugh? On when was it? Sunday? Yeah, Porto played Sunday. On Sunday, when Casa P is winning, I get a phone call. I won't mention no names, but a buddy of mine lives in Manhattan. He's like, "Yo, we're close. I'm close to going out weird because it's not even Benfica. But he's like, I'm close to going to the Ferry Street, and I'm like, relax, bro. Porto, they're gonna find a way. I don't know how. You know how it is. Porto always finds it. And when the game's over, I text him like, "Yo, you didn't get in the path yet, did you?" He's like, "No,
it's funny because I was watching the game I was actually in Portugal, right? I was in Alkshit with my
You were?
parents.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was in Portugal. So that 45 minutes and Casa Pia is winning the game, and I picked up my phone and I texted our Alkstanu friend that he's a huge Benfiquista, and I said, if you happen to go to Lisbon later,
Nuno?
if you happen to go to Lisbon later, would
See,
you
how come we don't
have
say
a
his
ride for
name?
me?
You don't have to hide his name. Why don't you say his name? Nuno.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
I said, if you
abraço.
go to Lisbon later, would you happen to have a ride? If you happen to go to Lisbon later, would you happen to have a ride for me? And he said, absolutely. But it turned out not to be. That would have been perfect, man. Imagine the timing of that.
You guys called the Uber. You guys had everybody lined up. The trailers lined up. The dancers.
Even Maria said she was going to go to the Marquês with me. She said, I just want to see
bro.
you happy, baby.
Yeah, if you were there, you had to. I mean, you could have missed that opportunity. You remember years ago when Patrick, our good friend Patrick Kendrick, was over there in yellow shorts and no shirt on.
And an umbrella?
It was right, yeah, with the umbrella. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely going to the Marquês is definitely one of the things on the bucket list.
The bucket list. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks, everyone that joined us here in the chat and kept the chat lively and had your comments. It was great to have you here, obviously, and great to be here, and great to have Cristiano back. After
Sorry to
a couple weeks
disappoint
absence.
those of you that were content with not having to hear my obnoxious voice over the last couple of weeks. Sorry. I like to.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll recap this Sporting game, hopefully with good news and excitement, and we'll look ahead to the Santa Clara game at Stade de Luz, which will be the season closer for Benfica. All right, everybody, thanks again. Everybody stay well. Força Benfica.
Rasta all the Freddies.